Proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP TV 16, the news station. Now, Frank Andrews, Marisa Burke, meteorologist Brian Orzel's backyard forecast, and Jay Christopher Sports. This is Newswatch 16, midday.
Good afternoon, everyone. 14 counties in northeastern and central Pennsylvania may have a radon problem, and soon the State Department of Environmental Resources may recommend you have your home tested for the gas. Radon is an odorless, colorless gas that results from the breakdown of uranium in the soil. Now, when the gas gets trapped in a well-insulated house, it can cause cancer. Now, DER says these counties in our viewing area may have a radon problem. It is asking the governor to approve its recommendation that homeowners do testing on their own to find out. Now, you may remember hearing about radon in a special series of reports on Newswatch 16 called Radon Home Sweet Hazard. For that series, we conducted a survey in cooperation with the Northeastern Pennsylvania Environmental Council and Wilkes College. Nearly 200 homes were sampled in central and eastern PA. Most had acceptable radon levels, but 40% were higher than what the state considers safe. We'll have more on the recommended testing program tonight at 6 on Newswatch 16. Nanticoke teachers were tardy for class this morning. They are protesting stalled contract talks. Now, the teachers showed up for class 15 minutes late today at all schools except the junior high in Nanticoke. Here at the senior high, the teachers gathered outside the building before going into class together 15 minutes late. Teachers have not ruled out a strike.
I mean, escalate into more extensive delays, strike activities, whatever it takes to reach an agreement at this point.
Now, school board members could not be reached for comment today. The Nanticoke teachers have been without a contract since August. A state mediator is involved in that dispute. Students at Bishop Hoban High School will attend a seminar on AIDS this afternoon beginning at 1. It may be the first seminar on AIDS in a Catholic high school in Pennsylvania. Last night, the parents got a look at what their students will be learning about today.
The students go home, the parents will have seen whatever the children are going to talk about, and they will be able to answer or discuss it on an adult level.
Now, health officials in Luzerne County have been conducting seminars all over the area to educate people about AIDS. AIDS is an almost always fatal disease that attacks the body's immune system. The Bristol-Myers Company is hoping to get the okay to test a possible AIDS vaccine in humans. It has shown to be partially effective on chimpanzees. Now, the Soviets say they have some evidence of an AIDS problem in their country today. Today, they start testing millions of blood donors for the AIDS virus. 30 AIDS cases have been confirmed in the Soviet Union in the past couple of years. The Greyhound Bus Company has been sold. It sold its entire bus line. A Texas corporation bought Greyhound for $350 million. Greyhound decided to sell after its unionized workers refused to take a 9% wage cut. A state senator wants to do away with Pennsylvania's catastrophic loss fund. The Western Pennsylvania lawmaker introduced a bill to eliminate it. It'll be voted on later this year. Now, the CAT fund pays accident victims medical bills over $100,000. Each driver pays $5 a year into the so-called CAT fund. Fire officials in Lackawanna County suspect a malfunctioning furnace started a blaze in a mobile home this morning. The fire hit just before 1. Now, the trailer is at 1045 East Lackawanna Avenue in Oliphant. All of the borough's fire companies responded to the blaze. No one was hurt. The mobile home is gutted. Officials in Monroe County are hoping a new computer system will help emergency crews respond more quickly to a call for help. As Newswatch 16's Valerie Devine explains, the computers can pinpoint the trouble spot.
Fire Station 24 respond brush fire, the Malamé residence, East Sugar Mountain Road.
This is just one of the hundreds of calls that come into the Monroe County Communications Center every day. Dispatchers say since the equipment here was installed 8 years ago, their call volume has more than tripled. And with a growing population, this stuff is outdated and worn out. That's where this new computerized system comes in. Director Gary Hoffman says they can dispatch crews a lot faster with computerized codes.
For this new piece of equipment, it does it automatically simply by the dispatcher. All they have to do is know the fire department to send and hit the signal button. It automatically selects the right radio transmitter, which in a fire call could mean a minute or so, and that's a lot of time.
This new computerized system will become even more important when Monroe County starts using its new emergency locator system. It's called a grid system, and it involves maps with numbers and letters just like this one that can be plugged into a computer. With the grid system, no address is needed. All you have to do is call in a code number listed on your telephone.
It's a matter of just punching in the number into the computer and how you have all the information come back, a location,
The fire district will be in, the ambulance station to send, police car if you need it. You'll know exactly who to send to it.
The grid system itself should be ready sometime before the end of this year. As far as the computer equipment is concerned, employees hope to have it in use within a few weeks. Valerie Devine, Newswatch 16, Stroudsburg.
President Reagan will answer reporters' questions tonight at a White House news conference. We'll tell you about it in a moment. And about the Senate's vote on the speed limit bill. Will it okay the plan like the House did? Newswatch 16 Midday continues in a moment.
Folks, this is Howard Upford. If saving money is important to you, you'll be green with envy during Upford's fantastic St. Patrick's Week sale. Serta bedding, $99 each piece. Lazy Boy rocker recliners, starting at $2.99. You'll save plenty of green at Upford's annual St. Patrick's Week sale, now through March 29th. Everyone will have the luck of the Irish at Upford's Home Furniture.
Love the Upford difference. Upford's Home Furniture.
How the English love tradition. Why then would a nation of butter lovers turn from butter to something called Krona?
You've got to taste it to believe it.
Krona? Absolutely marvelous. Today, Krona outsells every single brand of butter made in England. Could it happen in America? We'll soon know now that the American version of Krona is available in the United States.
New Krona, every bit like butter, but it costs much less.
President Reagan will hold a news conference tonight. It's his first in 4 months. You'll see it here on ABC and Channel 16 beginning at 8 p.m. Now, the president is going to be questioned heavily on the Iran-Contra affair. He says he'll tell reporters everything he knows about the scandal. The president won around in his fight for aid to Nicaraguan rebels. The Senate voted to send $40 million to the Contras, despite a big push to stop it. Here's ABC's Britt Hume.
Everyone agreed the effort to block the aid was doomed since the president had the votes to sustain a veto if necessary. But it sparked the liveliest Senate debate of the year.
We're talking about millions of dollars here that no one can account for. So instead of welfare queens, well, we got our Contra kings down there, and they don't have to account for the money.
It has been a sleazy policy, and it's been a sleazy result.
If we lose here, there's no question in my mind they'll be into Guatemala, El Salvador, and move right on up into Mexico.
It's either success with the Contras now, or it will be the Marines and the paratroopers of the United States of America later.
We're willing to pursue a policy that is a war policy. Our policy is intolerant of negotiation because peace might get in the way of war.
That view of the administration's goals, military victory at the expense of diplomacy, was expressed repeatedly by senators on both sides of the issue, although the president would win this vote 52-48. So the Contras will get the rest of this year's money, but getting them any more will be much more difficult, if it's possible at all. Britt Hume, ABC News on Capitol Hill.
The U.S. Senate is due to vote sometime today on a bill to boost the speed limit to 65 on some interstates. It's already on record as supporting that bill. It passed in the House yesterday by 11 votes. Now, even if the Senate does okay the speed limit portion of the bill, it may be vetoed by the president. Sources say he doesn't like the highway rebuilding bill it is attached to. Again, the Senate is due to vote sometime today on that speed limit bill. Our Weather Watch forecast is next, and if you want a reason to cheer with your lunch, it is the last full day of winter. Going to be a beauty, isn't it, Brian?
Yes, sir, Frank. Not a bad afternoon. The countdown is down to 34 hours and 40 minutes until the sun's rays officially cross the equator, marking the beginning of spring. But before that happens, I think something unusual is going to happen in the weather. I'll talk about that in just a few moments on the Weather Watch.
In millions of homes, millions of people aren't just brushing. They're using Listerine because it reduces plaque by up to 50% over brushing alone to fight plaque and bad breath. For better oral hygiene, millions use Listerine.
Take a sheet of Reynolds wrap, fold it in a Reynolds flap. First add meat, add your spice. Fold it once, fold it twice. Bake it now at 450. Not long, 15 minutes or so. Now take a piece, and you'll see just how good your meal can be. Because with a sheet of Reynolds wrap, a little flap, this Reynolds flap, you'll soon see what you can do. Chicken or fish and vegetables, too. It seals in goodness, seals in flavor. So do yourself this little favor. Make cooking better in a snap with a sheet of Reynolds wrap.
It certainly is a pleasure to be working outside today. A bit on the breezy side, but not quite as breezy as yesterday. I think the big weather question today is how long will this last? I'll answer that in just a moment. First, let's check in with our weather watchers. Lots of sunshine throughout northeastern and central Pennsylvania at midday. Mrs. Janice Galacci tells me 44 degrees up there in Clark Summit. And yes, she has spotted a robin at her place, sort of get us in the spring spirit up there. Down in Woolridge, at the Wadsworth residence, 38 degrees. That's at Marla. Wadsworth tells me it is at her place. And 50 down in Whitehall at Nancy Ramich's place. As I stated, lots of sunshine in the backyard. 46 degrees. The relative humidity is 32%, very low. Winds are still out of the north, and the barometer is falling. And the latest color satellite picture just in the Weather Watch 16 shows clear skies across the state of Pennsylvania. The clouds across the southern border of the state have pushed down to the south, leaving us with sun-filled skies. But across the western part of the country, things are getting nasty once again. We're watching yet another storm across the Rockies. Clear Creek, Utah, 13 inches of snow, generally 6 to 12 inches across the ski resorts of Utah. A lot of happy skiers and ski resort owners out that way. An additional foot of snow is possible over the next 24 to 36 hours. But what's dominating our weather is an area of high pressure across the northeast building downward. However, I'm a little concerned about this area of clouds on the very edge of our satellite picture. Let's zoom in and note a storm just off of Nova Scotia. This storm is moving in an unusual direction, westward. Normally, weather systems move from west to east, but the atmosphere is so bottled up that this storm is actually moving back to the west. There is some light snow falling across eastern New England, and northeasterly winds are going to bring these clouds our way, so I think tomorrow is going to be a rather cloudy day. We will see some sunshine, but it won't be nearly as bright as today, and temperatures will be cooler. And here's what the steering currents will look like then. It'll bring that cloud cover down our way from the northeast. This big, strong storm just stuck off the east coast. That is going to protect us from any storms arriving here through at least early next week. No chance of any rain or snow. But for this afternoon, simply superb outside. High temperature 52 at Wilkes-Barre and Brierley, 50 even in the cold mountains up there at Durrell this afternoon. The complete forecast then, partly cloudy tonight, 28 degrees for the low. A mostly cloudy day tomorrow, a few peaks of sun, but not nearly as bright as today. A little cooler, high 43 degrees. And right now, the weekend does not look bad, Frank, with highs in the upper 40s to low 50s. So spring will be coming in on a good note this year.
And I just calculated now 34 hours and 22 minutes. Just have a good evening, Brian.
See you later.
Jay Christopher's up next on Newswatch 16 midday with a spring training report on the Mets and a close-up look at catcher Gary Carter. He's got big hopes for this year. Sports Watch 16 is next.
If you were overstocked with full-size pickups, what would you do? Kingston Dodge, the home of Lee Iacocca's 7-year, 70,000-mile warranty, is biting the bullet with low prices and $1,000 factory rebates. Full-size D150 pickups starting at $75.55 and W100 4x4s at $99.99. That's right, $75.55 4x4s at $99.99. With 50 pickups in stock, we're ready to deal now, and these trucks will not last long, but the sale positively ends Monday, March 30th. And remember, you can buy a Dodge truck for less at Kingston Dodge.
Einen Furniture Outlets. 3 big locations bring you 3 times the quality and 3 times the savings on brand name furniture. We have exceptionally low prices every day. Just look at these savings. Right now, this sofa and chair for only $499 or a sofa and love seat for only $559. We've got the lowest prices in town on this quality furniture. Nobody beats Einen Furniture Outlets prices.
But remember, we're not in Einen anymore.
But we are in Scranton, Oliphant, and Pittston.
This is the time of year everybody talks basketball, but there are some other sports going on, aren't there?
Going on right now, Frank. Thank you very much. Hello again, everybody. 3 collegiate wrestlers from our area were early winners in today's first round of the NCAA quarterfinals at College Park, Maryland. Just about 40 minutes ago, I spoke to NCAA officials at College Park. They told me that defending national champion Ricky Bonomo of the University of Bloomsburg won his match against Craig Cervantes of Montana. He won with a fall at 136, so Ricky Bonomo advances to the second round. Also winning at 118 was East Stroudsburg Jack Cuvo. He defeated Mark Sanfilippo of Purdue 16-5. And Jim Martin of Penn State, also at 118, defeated Roger Singleton of Grand Valley. There are at least 24 area wrestlers who are in the top seeds in the 3-day event. More on tonight's 6 o'clock report. Well, he's the New York Mets' $2 million man. At age 32, he's considered at the pinnacle of his career. A checklist of last year's statistics would verify that fact. 105 RBIs, 24 homers, batted .255, National League All-Star, and he finished third in the MVP balloting. I'll stop there to tell you that the $2 million man is Gary Carter. Carter is the catalyst who just might engineer back-to-back championships for the Mets. Tim Carlson has the Carter profile.
What's the best way to describe Gary Carter's importance to the Mets in their World Championship season? Well, how about words from a popular song? You're my soul and my heart's inspiration. Well, sure, he hit just .255, his lowest in 5 years, and he missed 14 games with a bad thumb, but Carter did lead the team with 105 RBIs and nailed 24 home run balls. But most importantly, he was the cheerleader, the king of the hugs, kisses, and high tens. He got the guys fired up, and he set a good example by leading the club in the league with 16 game-winning RBIs. He was Mr. Clutch at the plate and behind it, too.
Sure, most of the season you will be seeing Gary Carter wearing the catcher's mitt and behind the plate, but don't be surprised if you see him with another kind of mitt on, over there at first base and maybe in the outfield.
Why the possible shifting? Well, at 33, Carter's knees have catcheritis. They're tired from the squatting over the past 12 years in the major leagues, but Carter's playing that down.
My knees are actually in better shape than they have been in the past couple of years, so I don't see any reason why I shouldn't be able to catch 125, 135 games, something like that. And I'm sure he'll play me some other positions, so I'm going to be in there as often as he has my name in the lineup. I'll be there.
Now, we did see you taking some practice at first base over at the Phillies camp the other day.
Oh, yeah, well, I always mix a few ground balls in here and there and all. I just try to, keep myself available whenever necessary.
Certainly, Gary is still healthy and very strong, and he's capable of catching a lot of games during the year. Sometime I'll play him at first, but that's really about the only position I'll put him at.
It'll be interesting to see just how many games Carter doesn't catch, considering if and when he plays first base, Keith Hernandez will have to sit out. And there's really no room in the outfield to replace Dykstra, McReynolds, or Strawberry. But I'm sure manager Johnson will work something out.
Thank you very much, Tim. One of the big winners in last night's high school Quad A playoff matchups was Hazleton at Martz Hall in Pottsville. The Mounties breezed by Allentown Deriff 85-72 to advance to the Eastern semifinal this Saturday against Chester. Hazleton is the number 6 team on the Super 16 list. In the game, Scott Nicholas there with 2 of his points. Mounties up by 3. Then an inbound pass. Chris Fortunaro nails the baseline short shot, and the lead is still at 3. Deriff now chipped away. They were chipping away when John Toman had the handoff there. He goes to Todd Rupp. He hits, and the lead was down to 1. Deriff then takes the lead off the break. Dave Timmons dishes to Toman for the basket, and they go on to beat Allentown Deriff 85-72. And that's the Sports Watch this midday, Frank.
All right, thanks for the information, Jake. When we come back, mush for lunch, and the woman serving up a winning style. We'll explain when Newswatch 16 Midday returns.
That's it. I got to get out for good.
Roth Furniture, 226 Wyoming Avenue, Scranton, is going out of business.
I mean it this time. I got to get out forever.
Roth Furniture is going out of business forever. Save 20 to 50% and more on name brand furniture like Broyhill, Bernhardt, and Bassett. Fantastic savings on top quality furniture now at Roth Furniture, 226 Wyoming Avenue, Scranton. Say goodbye to Solomon Roth.
I calling it quit this time. Come on in before I get out.
And finally today, what goes 8 miles an hour features pooch power and takes 11 days to complete. It's the annual dog sled race in Alaska. As ABC's Gary Shepard reports, this year it had a repeat winner.
It began in downtown Anchorage. 63 Alaskan mushers and their dog teams setting out on a grueling 1,100-mile odyssey.
3, 2, 1, go!
Among the starters, Susan Butcher, last year's winner, trying to make it 2 in a row. Alaskans proudly call it the last great race on Earth. The route takes the drivers and their dogs northwest from Anchorage to Nome, over some of the most remote and breathtaking territory in the world, through places with names like Squentina, Shagaluk, and Elam. Of 27 checkpoints along the way, 2 are mandatory rest stops. Otherwise, it's everybody for themselves. The teams generally cover 100 miles a day, racing at an average speed of about 8 miles an hour. Susan Butcher, who led during most of the race, spends much of the year training for the Iditarod. And once again, this year, it paid off. The 31-year-old resident of Manly, Alaska, crossed the finish line on Front Street in Nome well ahead of the runner-up to capture the $50,000 first prize. It was a new speed record, 11 days, 2 hours, and 5 minutes.
13 hours better than last year.
I'm going to go home and take a week break, and then we'll start preparing for the 88 race and preparing for a third in a row.
For prize lead dogs Granite and Maddie, that will be just one more run for the roses. Gary Shepard, ABC News.
And that's all we have time for Newswatch 16 Midday. Once again, our top story, Department of Environmental Resources said there may be a radon problem in northeastern and central Pennsylvania and may recommend some home testing. We'll have more on that tonight with the team at 6. For the Midday Crew and Marisa Burke on assignment in Scranton, have a good afternoon, everyone.